we saw national security up in comparison with foreign soldiers coming into a new country and invading the country and taking power. Now security has changed. In now security, we're not talking about only military. We're now talking about both social security, economic security, environmental security, energy security. I'll give you more example. Let's not talk about the foreign nations coming to invade Nigeria. Now let's talk about that's the external national security issues. Let's talk about internal security issues. So I expect the people in power to be aware that if you don't handle drug cartels in a country like Nigeria, they can become so powerful that they become a national security problem. Example, Mexico. The drug cartels have become so powerful that they can fight the government forces toe to toe, fire for fire. In Nigeria, it's not happening. That means that people on top for national security are doing a great job, but many people are not aware of this. Secondly, let's talk about what's going on in the Arab world, Arab Spring. People are rioting, they are protesting, they are bringing governments down. That is the power of social security. But in Nigeria, it hasn't happened. That means those in power of national security are doing an excellent job.
Or probably the people have not been stirred to the point that they want to protest.
It wasn't about that. If you look at the protests we had in the UK in August this year, when people protested, it was controlled. It was managed. And the government of the UK are not stopping there. They're even going further to find out why are people not happy? Why are the young kids not happy? Because we had people as young as 11 years, 9 years, protesting, looting. But the government is going further with local leaders to know why are they protesting? Is it because of the cut in government funding? So they're thinking of having solutions. But I say to people, rioting or looting cannot be justified for any government cut. So don't ever say that because you believe that the government of Nigeria or national security are not doing their best, that shouldn't be a reason for you to go and riot or loot or destroy lives. Yes, you have the right to fair protesting. You have the right for freedom of association and or communication to say that I'm not happy about ABC, but it's not a right for you to loot or destroy lives, thinking that that should be a right for them to listen to your concerns. So if you look at the socio-political issues about security, Nigeria is doing great. Arab Spring has destroyed so many Arab countries. Nigeria hasn't happened that because national security has been working. So let's not just look at only one part of the BH group and saying that because of that it's not working. No, there is national security in Nigeria, but it has to be improved. It could get better.
Yeah, I would still talk about national issues of national security and security generally in Nigeria, but let's look at those other things that can provoke insecurity in Nigeria. They are also not being addressed. Section 2, Chapter 2 of Nigerian Constitution is actually talking about the rights and privileges of Nigerians. The responsibility of state is also not justiciable. You can't take it to court. You may say you have a right to good roads, for instance, but you cannot ask the government to take the government to court for not providing you with good roads. So there are a lot of things that Nigerians are entitled to, but they can't take it. So some people take it back or take it out with the system or on the system. Now that's one thing I think we should look at. But while I am drawing this background is because we have not been able to address the social responsibility of government to the people, and then we want to kill the fire or kill the fly with a sledgehammer. So much budget for security and very little for the very things that are the root cause of insecurity in society.
You see, for me personally, I believe that the budget allocation to security is appropriate. For me, I believe that a country without security has got no wealth, has got no future.
Is our problem security alone? Is insecurity not caused by some other things that we are not addressing?
Definitely. Insecurity can be caused by both political and social and economic factors, and that is why the government has got plans to put a certain amount of budget for health, for education, for recruitment of young people into the labor market. So these are the government trying to work on other areas of society that will stop people to have the cause to do what's going on in the Arab Spring. Okay, so you cannot compare Nigeria with other Arab Spring nations. Look at Saudi Arabia. They had a problem of the Arab Spring, but because of national security, it was managed. It stopped. Look at Bahrain. They had a problem, it was managed, it was stopped. That is the power of national security. I'm not saying that you should use force to stop people from saying their mind. Okay, but I'm saying that the government should address budgets like they've done to education, health sector, recruitment opportunities to get people into work. That is them to address it. However, the implementation actually now supersedes the issue about having the budget allocation. How do we monitor the implementation? You said something very important. Section 2 of the Nigerian Constitution gives us the right to have a good life. Okay, but we don't have the right to question the government about those implementations. Why don't we think about setting up the public inquiries? It's not a law court. It's more like a forum for people like we've got in the UK. They can call a past prime minister.
We have the Public Complaints Commission. I don't know.
The Public Complaints Commission. So if you are the director of the Public Complaints Commission, I actually raised this up on Friday at the International Anti-Corruption Day at the Yaradua Center when I asked the ICPC representative. Now, let's talk about, we had a lot of young school kids that at the place that day, and I said, how do you expect these school kids to look up talking about corruption when they believe that some of the past leaders of the country hasn't actually answered some critical questions about their actions and mannerism and operations while in power? It's so easy. Let's not talk about the law court now. Let's not talk about prosecution now. That's a bit hardcore. But let's invite them in a nice way to a citizenry public inquiry where we can invite members of society to get questions from Nigeria, factual questions. So you can say to Mr. Ex-President, we've got facts here that you had £20 million in your Swiss bank account. We've got the fact here. Can you explain to Nigerians if this is true or false? So they are answering for themselves. There is no defense team covering them. And Nigerians are the judges. So we just listen to them, live television station. We hear them defend themselves. And if we believe that they've done nothing wrong, it's clean record. Because it's so easy for you to blame an ex-president thinking that they've done wrongs when they haven't done any wrong. But a public open inquiry could give them the opportunity to defend any allegations against them fairly without any